Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about this little annoyance that will be moving through the northern plains, the Great Lakes, and the Northeast throughout the next day and a half-ish. So let's take a look at two different scenarios that this storm could take, which is one scenario being the more snow scenario for the I-95 corridor, and the second scenario being more rain on the I-95 corridor. The rest of this storm is pretty much set. That's the only difference here, is that I-95 corridor will see either some snow or some rain. So let's take a look at that. So here is scenario number one. This is the more snow scenario. Now, we're going to be taking a look at the HRRR for this because I think it's the best example of this, where you have this storm kind of generating some lighter snow, maybe some moderate snow in some spots in the northern plains, and that moves into the Great Lakes, bringing up some more Gulf moisture, and a little bit of rain starts to kick in on that southeastern side. Now, once you get into the Great Lakes region, that rain really starts to come into the picture here. Now, you can see that these blue lines go south of the actual rain-snow line. So here's why that happens. So this is what is called a sounding, and these are many charts. We're going to be looking at this one on the left. This is the skew T chart. Now this shows the temperatures of the atmosphere according to height as well as dew point and a couple of other things. But we're going to be looking at this red line. That is temperature. And we're going to be looking at this blue dashed line, the furthest one to the right. This is our 32-degree line. This is our freezing point, the rain-snow line. You can see here that at the surface, we have 34 degrees. And just above that, you have an area, a little pocket of some warmer temperatures, but probably about 1 kilometer above the surface, this goes back into the freezing mark, and we see a lot of cold air above this. Now, the reason that the HRRR has more rain in these spots is that 1 kilometer is enough with the temperatures that are there, that are in place, to melt that snow. Now, that is why you're seeing rain in these spots, even though it is very cold according to this map. But once the storm moves into the northeast, we kind of see that same problem being solved by some leftover cold air from that Arctic air mass that the central United States has been dealing with for the past couple weeks. That is now moving off to the east and is now in the northeast over the next couple of days. Very weak at this point. But we start to see some more snow in DC, Baltimore, Philadelphia. Then it moves into New York and Boston with that coastal air mass, keeping the lower levels warmer. Does get shunned out of some snow in this scenario. And that all moves off the coast. Now, what that does is brings more snow, of course, to the I-95 corridor, and you see areas such as DC, Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York, seeing maybe an inch or two at the most. Most of these areas will be right on that rain-snow line, and we'll be seeing a trace to an inch. Now, this is a very weak storm, so you can see that in these overall totals. The highest numbers here is probably 7 or 8 inches in Iowa, and some of these others in the northeast are because of some lake effect snow. But overall, just a very weak storm. You're not going to be seeing more than the 3 to 6 category with most of these areas, except for that one area in Iowa seeing more than that. But overall, just a very weak storm, but that I-95 corridor is filled in a little bit more than the NAM has. The NAM has our second scenario, the more rain scenario. So this does the exact same thing in the central United States and moves into the northeast. Look at this picture. Right here, you have a lot more rain. That means those lower layers are much warmer according to the NAM. And that leaves the entire Boston to Washington corridor in the rain. Now, what does that do to the snow totals? That makes all the snow totals about the same from the rest of the storm system, with a little bit more in Iowa. It has 10 inches this time, but the entire I-95 corridor from Washington up to Boston is left dry. Nothing in terms of snow from this storm in those spots. So what do you think is going to happen? Comment in the comment section down below, but that's all I have for today. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.